Hello and welcome to my channel, The Average Gamer Joe, and I am super excited about today's video because I'm going to be doing a Final Fantasy XIV Beginner's Guide walkthrough series where I'm going to start from the character creation all the way until endgame content. I am a legacy player and I have been playing Final Fantasy XIV since its original release in September of 2010, so that's a lot of years. I am hoping to give as much in-depth information as I possibly can, and I hope you will enjoy this journey with me, and I am wanting to do this before patch 7.0, so any new players or even existing players can watch this and jump right in. So let's get right into it. So from here, we're going to go right into the new character. So let's go up here, click new character. Let's see. Let's click OK. So we're going to start from here. So as you can see, we have multiple different races here and genders. So you have each one of these has their own race and gender. There is one thing I want you to keep in mind. There are certain races that don't allow you to equip certain gear. So for instance, I believe Viera will not allow you to equip certain headgear. And then it's the same for the Uras, and I think there's a few other ones that have ears and things like that that make it a little bit harder for them to wear certain things. But I just want people to keep that in mind. And just so you know, no matter which race you choose or which gender you choose, it's not going to affect any kind of stats or anything within the game. It's only going to affect appearance. So for me, I'm going to pick the, since I haven't actually had this one in a very long time, I'm going to go ahead and pick the human. Now, I just want to keep something in mind. At the bottom where it says starting attributes, where for each one it goes a little bit higher, a little bit less, these really don't matter at all. But once we start equipping gear and doing a lot of other things, these stats are going to be so minor, it's not even going to matter. So I'm going to pick the Midlander. Confirm. I always like to do max height, so I confirm that. I'm going to go ahead and keep the, well, let's see. What does it look like if we crank them up a little bit? We'll just crank up the muscles too. Why not? Alright, so let's see. Face-wise, let's see what we got here. We'll go with this one. Okay, skin tone. Let's change it to a little bit darker. We'll go with that. And then I like the spiked hair. They do have a lot of really cool hairstyles in here, as you can see, and some very ridiculous ones. So this is kind of like a samurai look. That's kind of cool. But for me, I like the spiked hair look. So let's see what we have for that. That one's kind of cool. Let's go. I think I'm going to stick with this one. This one's kind of cool. They do have options now for you to be able to switch your hairstyles later on down the road. So if it's something you want to change later, you can. So... and I believe you have to do that through the Mog Station. And there are certain things you can get if you collect enough points. But like I said, we'll go over that later on. I'm going to go with number 4. Eye shape. Number 4. Let's see, iris. Let's keep that at large. And really quick too, while we're doing it, if you want to, you can also change the pose down at the bottom. So you can change it to unique. And then you can also change the background. So you can have it outside, in the forest. It looks like it's outside of Uldah. Or inside, one of the rooms. So I'll switch it back to the main one. And then switch the pose back to standing. So go ahead and confirm. And then eye color, I'm going to do something similar to what my hair color currently is. So let's try like a bluish haze there. Eyebrows, I like the eyebrows that's there. So let's keep that. And then nose, I'm going to keep that. Mouth, let's go with the last one. And keep that. Lip color, let's leave the lip color as it is. I don't think there's any reason to change that. Now, there also is something else to keep in mind. They have something called a Fantasia that you'll get later on, which will allow you to change your character entirely. So for whatever reason, you're like, you know what? I don't want to be a human anymore. Let me change it to something else. I don't know if they're still giving out the Fantasias one time per character, but if they do, if they don't, you can purchase it within the Mog Station as well. So let's go. We'll get a scar on the face. It's kind of cool. I'm not going to do any tattoos since we don't have a tattoo color. I'm just going to click on confirm. And since we don't really want any face paint, and since we don't have face paint, we don't need a face paint color. Let's check out the voices here. Let's see what we have. Let's go let's see this. Let's try the laughing. That's a good one. Let's try that one. All right, now that we're done here, let's go ahead and confirm. I'm not worried about saving the appearance. Let's see. I'll just pick first astral moon. This doesn't matter as well. This is just kind of like a choosing the date of your birth, I guess, kind of thing. I'm just gonna choose what's on here. Now, back in the day when I first used to play in Legacy 1.0, or even before 1.0, these actually used to matter. These no longer matter anymore. They used to add certain things and certain hidden stats that you could get. It doesn't do that anymore. So it doesn't really matter what you choose. Now, something to keep in mind, all of these classes you can change later on. You don't have to necessarily keep this class. It's just something they start you off with. You're not tied down to any class. I know there's some games where once you're that class, you have to start a whole new character just to be able to play it. And with this one, you don't have to do that. You can, so for instance, a Gladiator will eventually become a Paladin. A Pugilist will eventually become a Monk. The Marauder will eventually become a Warrior. The Lancer will eventually be a Dragoon. An Archer can be a Bard. And then if you go into Disciples of Magic, you have the Conjurer that will be a White Mage. The Thaumaturge, which would be a Black Mage. And then Arcanist, which I believe is a Summoner. So like I said, you can change all these later. You don't have to be tied down to just one of them. I also want you to keep something in mind if you look in the bottom left-hand corner where it says Uldah. So whatever one of these classes you choose to start with, that is the location that's going to start you at. So for Gladiator, it's going to start you in the city of Uldah. If you choose, let's see, a Marauder, it's going to start you in Limsa Laminza. And then if you start as like a Lancer or an Archer, it's going to start you in Gridania. And the same goes for the Disciples of Magic as well. So just keep that in mind. The place necessarily doesn't matter. Later on down the road, you'll have the ability to choose what's called a free company, and then that's when you'll be able to choose where you want your loyalty to be. You can also eventually change that as well if you want to. So, but that's where it's going to start you at. So for me, my favorite job is a Gladiator, which eventually turns into a Paladin. So I'm going to do that first. And a Paladin is what's considered a tank class. So before I go any further, so the Gladiator is the tank class. The Pugilist is more of what's called a DPS. It's actually a solo. It's mainly a solo DPS, but obviously this game is meant to be, to team up with other players. But it is good for solo as well, and it has a lot of good attributes. Marauder is also a tank job. Lancer is another DPS. Archer is another DPS, and then a Conjurer is going to be a healer. Thaumaturge is going to be a mage, Black Mage to be specific, and then the Bard is also, or excuse me, not the Bard. The Arcanist is going to be a summoner, which can eventually summon other things down the road, like Carbuncle and Ifrit and a lot of other things. So we're going to go back up to here. I'm going to click Gladiator, and that's who I'm going to start with. Now, the data centers, I really feel like this is a personal preference because I've never noticed a difference from people that I know that have been on different servers. And they actually have the ability for you to go in between servers, which is pretty cool. But the data center itself, that's actually changed in the beginning. This is the actual server location that you'll be on. So I didn't mean to say data center, but yes. So that being said, I'm already on Sargentis, which is a legacy server. So I'm going to choose this one. And then I'm going to choose a name. I think I'm going to choose something similar to my current name. I'm just going to write it backwards. There we go. And let's see if it'll let me do that. Awesome. So it did. So we're just going to do that to start with. And here we go. All right, so the server's full, so it puts us in a queue. And then as soon as that queue is gone, it will allow us to go in. It is kind of odd, though. It's only 1 o'clock p.m. my time, Eastern Standard Time. So it's interesting that it's full. People are probably getting ready. Oh, yeah, the new patch just dropped, too. So that's probably why a lot of people are on, trying to catch up and do new stories and stuff like that. There's so much stuff to do in this game. And it's a lot of fun. I love this game. I have been playing the originals for a super long time, starting with 11 and all the others, you know, Final Fantasy 1 through 7, all that. So, and I believe it's going to start us off in the very beginning. If for whatever reason I have to cut this out because of any kind of copyright, I will. Hopefully I don't have to. I may have to mute the music, or I may have to do something like that. And if I do, I'll do some kind of voiceover or do something like that. It depends on what Square Enix decides it wants to do, because I know a lot of times they don't want to spoil certain things and they want people to enjoy the game themselves. Yeah. So we shall see. So I'm going to be quiet for a minute so we can watch this.
Here, feel. Hear, feel, think.
I'm actually really excited too, because they've changed a lot of things since when I started playing this game. They've redone a lot of the main story. They've added to it. They've redone a lot of the visuals. There's so many things that they've done to change it to make it so much more fun and better. So I'm actually quite excited to see if there's anything that I may have missed and see what they show. Let me know in the comments below if you guys would prefer somebody to actually read the text or just let it sit for a second and then click on it afterwards. I know some people, they like it when other people read the text. I could always do it with some kind of like ridiculous accent, which would be funny, or I could just let it play. So if you have any ideas on what you would prefer, just let me know in the comments below and let me know what you think. And I believe there's also a way you can set up auto scroll text. So if you don't want to have to click every time, you can set a timer where it will read the text for you, and then after a certain amount of time, it'll go on to the next one. I can't exactly remember how to do it. I could probably look into it and see. And it may only be for the PlayStation. I'm not 100% sure. And I'll do my best not to give anything away. I get so excited when I play this game because I know so much about it. It's the Uldah. we'll get to deal with them a lot later.
Deep in the sun-baked south, surrounded by the shifting sands of an endless desert, she rises, a solitary rose amidst the dust and rock, a symbol of defiance, her name, Uldah. Even with the coming of the seventh umbral era, hope springs eternal for the mongers and merchants who vie for lost fortunes in this bustling oasis. As the twin faces of Nold Thal maintain their vigil over all that has been and shall be, the present proffers a brave soul. One whose arrival could mark the beginning of a new era of prosperity for the realm. May the traders nurture our fortunes as they kindle the flames which burn within us all. For by fire are we reborn.
Alright, so now we're in the city of Uldah. Time to have some fun. All right. So it says, welcome to Uldah, shining beacon of prosperity rising from the deserts of Thanlin. So I'm going to be using a controller, so I'm going to click gamepad. It's going to give the basic controls, cycling through hotbars. Now I am actually going to be going through hotbars and other things later on what I think works best for me. You can change this, but I find it to be easier for me. So I don't have a lot of skills yet. At the bottom, you can see we only have the skills that's within L2, and then we have the skills within R2. I'm going to be setting this up a little bit different, so we can have a lot of skills set on multiple bars that you can see. When you use the PC, the mouse and keyboard setup, you'll actually have it where you can see a lot more on the screen. So I try to mirror that with what I use on my controls. So let's see. So what I'm going to do for now, I'm going to close that. And then we're going to head over to Wyman first. I'm trying to think of when a good time would be, but I think for now we'll just talk to Wyman and see. So by initiating quests. So let's go ahead and click that. So it says non-player characters, NPCs offering quests can be recognized by the exclamation marks above their heads. To bring up the quest window, speak with the NPC by first targeting him, then pressing the confirm button. So we're going to do that now. So I'm going to go up to him. Now you'll see that the quest shows up in the bottom right hand corner. It'll show you your reward, and the symbol to the left, that's going to be your experience points. And then to the right is going to be Gil. So we're going to go ahead and accept this coming to Uldah quest, and that's going to send us into a cutscene. Alright, so you'll use the duty list to help you complete your task. So the duty list would be in the top right hand corner. As you can see over to the top right hand corner below that map, it says coming to Uldah. So if you, let's see what it says. Upon accepting a quest, the current objectives will appear under the quest title and the duty list on the right side of the screen. A maximum of 5 quests can be displayed at once. Selecting the title will open the quest in your journal, allowing you to review objectives and rewards. So let's go ahead and do that. So if you click it, it will open this. So this is going to be your journal that stores all of the available quests that you have, also completed quests. So if you see when I'm pressing triangle, there is a complete, and then it goes through all of the different quests that you can choose from. And there's a lot, so we'll go to that later. And what's also cool is that you can click the quest off to the right and choose what you want to do with it. So you can, there's a little square over there. Sometimes when you have too many quests, you can hide them and things like that. And like if we ever get to the point where we need to hide some of our quests, we will. Now, after clicking the duty list, you can actually go into the map and it'll show you exactly where to go for your quest. So as you can see on the map, it has us going here in the Adventurers Guild. Here we are up here. And then here's the Adventurers Guild down here. And you can also see, if we get out of this, if you go look at the top right hand corner where the map is, if you see the map, it'll actually show the green checkmark icon, and that's where we need to go. So actually before we do this, I want to go and do this Aetherite over here. Oh, they don't have it yet, so they're not going to allow us to do it yet. So for now, we're just going to go into the Adventurers Guild, into the quicksand area, and then we're going to talk to Momodi. So at the top, it just showed up. It says complete a quest by speaking to the NPC with a check mark displayed above his or her head. Completing quests will earn you a variety of rewards from items and guild to experience points. So in just a sec, we'll click on Momodi, and then we'll start continuing our quest. All right, so let's talk to Momodi. All right, first quest completed. So this concludes the introductory game tutorial. You have taken the first step as an adventurer in the city of Uldah. Listen well to the wisdom of Momodi, then go forth and discover the incredible adventures that await you. And I leveled up. Yay. Alright, main scenario quests. Important quests used to tell the story of Eorzea and her people are called main scenario quests. These tasks are easily distinguishable from others by their unique icon. Quests using this icon indicate a task or series of tasks are tied to new duties or features you have yet to unlock. So for instance, in the top left-hand corner, you'll see a close to home scenario quest, and then right below that with exclamation point, you'll see the Way of the Gladiator. So it didn't specify that, but that's a secondary quest. So the close to home is the main story quest, and then the Way of the Gladiator is the secondary quest. So we'll click on Momodi first for the main scenario quest, which is close to home, and we'll click next for that. I think afterwards we'll do the what's called a class quest for the Gladiator. So it's wanting us to go visit the Aethernet Plaza, which is the Aethernet in the middle of Uldah, which is the main one. So basically it's saying we have to attune to them. And that's what I was going over earlier, to travel around. And then it wants us to go to the Gladiators Guild after that. So that'll help us with the second quest that's not tied to the main quest. Alright, let's click main menu. The main menu grants quick and easy access to most of the game's main features. For example, selecting character under character opens a window containing your character's various attributes and currently equipped gear. Selecting journal under duty displays a list of current and completed quests and lev quests. I kind of showed that earlier. If you wish to customize the game's various settings, including key binding, HUD layout, and system configuration, they all can be accessed via system. Select active help to redisplay these tutorial messages. Game progress is saved automatically, so there is no in-game save or load functions. However, to prevent data from being lost or corrupted, it is strongly recommended that you end each playing session by selecting log out or exit game from the system menu. There's also the ability to save it to a server. So for instance, if something happens to your computer and you lose a lot of your data, you have your character stored. So there are ways to do that. So we'll close out of that. We'll close out of this one. There's another one, let's say Sanctuaries. A crescent moon icon will appear to the right of your experience bar whenever you enter a sanctuary. While in the special area, you will accrue a rested bonus. The bonus will continue to grow even if you are offline. So yeah, in the bottom, right below where it says MP to the right, there's the moon. That'll show you what your rested bonus is. And yes, it does work when you're not online. All your experience earned through battle, crafting, and gathering while under the benefit of the restored bonus will be increased by 50%. There are other items you can wear as well that can increase your EXP bonus, but we'll go over that shortly. Your current rested bonus is displayed on the top of your experience bar. The dark orange bar shows how much more experience can be earned before the bonus fades. If the bar is blue, it indicates your bonus will carry over to the next level. And then inns and cities, as well as various outposts and settlements, are classified as sanctuaries to maximize your experience earning potential. Make it a habit to always log out in one of these areas. So yeah, make sure you're always logging out in a main area. And then let's see, last one looks like navigation. So selecting the map from under travel in the main menu, or pressing square on the controller will bring up the area of the map. If the quest objective is located in that area, it will be indicated with a special icon. So yeah, the icon that it currently has selected will be like a main scenario quest icon. They do have multiple other icons, and we can go over that later. The location of the quest objectives can be confirmed by selecting the objective in the duty list. So over to the right, you can see where it says close to home, and then it has 3 options on this particular one. Attune yourself to the Aethernet found inside the city, visit the Gladiators Guild, and then listen to Ciceroga's explanation of the markets. And then also, the Smith guy, this is something that they added later on. This is for when you're new. You can talk to them, and they can give you like special quests and special things that you can do. But we'll go over the Sprout stuff later. So, like I said, at the top, you can actually click this right below close to home, Way of the Gladiator, and it'll show you directly on the map where it's located. And if you click it within the map, it'll tell you the location that it is. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the Aethernet. I'm actually going to go to the one right outside first, because they have mini ones too, not just the main ones. So there's one right here. Click that. So we'll attune to this one, and then we'll head to the main one. Okay, so now we have access to quick travel throughout the city. Can be achieved by simply placing your hand upon Aethernet shards. Aethernet, excuse me. So yeah, we'll go ahead and click on this. So attuning with the shard has granted you access to the city-state's Aethernet. The Aethernet can be used for quick intra-city travel. So like from each location. So that's what I was saying. If we do it within the city, it's going to be much faster. So let's see. Are we going the right direction for the... Yes, here we go. So we're heading to the 8th right now. As you can see in the map in the top right-hand corner, that's where we're running now. And if you click that button that you see where I hit triangle, you can sprint. And then this is the main Aethernet that you can connect to. So we're going to do that now as well. We've also learned return. Return allows you to come back to this location if you die, for instance, or if you just want to come back quickly. Later on, you'll be able to teleport, but for now. So it says the spell return can be used to instantly travel back to the Aethernet set as your home point. Casting the spell does not require MP and can be accessed by selecting return under travel from the main menu. The sole limitation of the spell is that it can only be cast once every 15 minutes. Only one home point can be set at any time. To make an Aetherite your new home point target, and select the crystals to bring up the Aetherite menu. So basically, if you go in here to the menu, you can go to travel and you can go to return. You can also do it through here, where the return option's down here. Okay, so we're going to go over here. So let me show you what it was talking about first. So if you go in here under character, this will show all of your different attributes. These will all be under attributes. And once we start equipping different gear, I can go over this more in depth. You have gear sets. You have recommended gear. So if you do acquire any gear that's in your inventory, you can click recommended gear and it will actually equip you automatically with the better set gear. So yeah, you could do that. And then if you click gear set list, you can go under the gear set list and you could add stuff. So for now, we can add Gladiator, for instance. So if you click one, it'll automatically equip us. This will be easy to use later on when you want to switch from one job to another. You have your profile. So this shows your name, your current titles, your clans, and all these other things, and then class and jobs. So obviously we don't have any other jobs leveled, so it's not going to show much here. And then if you go under Disciples of the Hand and Disciples of the Land, which is what those terms mean, DOH and DOL. And like I said, we'll go into these attributes later once we start getting into like materia and attaching them to clothing and things like that. So for now, that's what you have for that. And then they were talking about the journal, which they showed earlier. So this basically goes over your current quests and any other quests you have available. So let's see. Was there anything else for right off the hand? No, that's it so far. So now let's head to the Gladiators Guild. So we're going to have to go to a different area to get to the Gladiators Guild. So for now, we're going to go this way. But if I remember correctly, the Gladiators Guild is going to be over here. So we have to run. And there's another Aetherite. I usually like to do all of the Aetherites first before I start quests within an area, so it allows me to travel back and forth a lot quicker. But let's see. Let's look at our map. Okay, so we want to go back this way. I'll leave the map open while we're running around so you can see. Okay, let's go this way. Alright, so we have the main quest here. This is one of the main quests over here. And we're actually currently in the Gladiators Guild. And we have a quest available, so we might as well grab that while we're here. Way of the Gladiator. Join the Gladiators Guild? Yes. So now we're going to talk to the Guildmaster for Gladiator. Okay, so it wants us to go outside for the Way of the Gladiator. But first, let's go ahead and continue the main story, which is listen to the Ciceroga's explanation of the markets. So let's do that first. Did we already click this one? No, we have not. So we're going to tune to this one as well. Okay. There we go. So anytime we see one, we'll click on it. This allows us to travel around faster. Eventually, we'll go into more of these too, because you have the Goldsmiths Guild, the Miners Guild, for later down the road when we start doing mining and crafting and etc. And I'll be doing tutorials on those as well, on crafting macros and crafting your own gear, because I don't like buying my own gear unless I absolutely have to. I always craft my own stuff. So the Weavers Guild is going to be here as well. Other locations like Limsa, Laminza, and Gridania, they'll have their own crafting type classes there as well. Alrighty, so we found Ciceroga, so let's talk to him. Alright, so handing over items. Let's click that. Some quests will require you to deliver items. If an NPC requires an item request window will appear. Select the items from your inventory or armory chest and press hand over to complete the transaction. So you basically click and it'll go over to your key items, and then click it in and then hand it over. So eventually we'll also do retainers so that when our inventory gets full, our retainer can hold items for us. And they can do many other things, but we'll go over that later. Okay, so it says to report back to Momodi. So what's great is since we've already done, since we've clicked the quick travels, now we can just click this, go to the Adventurers Guild, click that, and it'll teleport us there quickly, so we don't have to run around everywhere. And then here we are. Back to Emojis, and very quickly. Okay, so now you notice over Momodi's head it's red. Red usually means that there's something we have to do before we can continue the quest. Most likely it's going to be level based. So if we click it, it's going to tell us the quest is not available until you reach level 4. So now basically what we need to do is we'll go outside and do that Way of the Gladiator quest, and this will get us to a level 4. So let's go ahead and go over here. And let's head outside. And before we head outside, let's check and see if it tells us where the mobs are, because sometimes that's helpful. So if you tell it, you basically, sorry, after you click on it, you click there, you go to map, and it'll give you the option to choose. So if we go to the Slay Star Mammoths, it'll tell you where you need to go outside. So as you can see from the map, when I click it, it shows you exactly where we need to go. So we can go straight out here, and everything should be out here. Okay, so let's see, battle. Select a target with the D-pad and press confirm once to target it. Press confirm a second time to switch to active mode and ready auto attack. Approach and face the target to start the battle. 2 rotating arrows will appear over the target you are currently attacking. Various actions such as spells and weapon skills can be performed by using the cross hotbar on the bottom of your screen. So this right here is going to be the cross hotbar. And like I said, I'm going to be modifying it later. So once you start getting a lot more skills, you're going to need more room. The cross hotbar is only available in gamepad mode. So yes, when it's not in gamepad mode and you're using mouse and keyboard, it's going to look different than this. The action set to your cross hotbar can be initiated via the corresponding button combination, which consists of holding one of the L2, R2 buttons and pressing one of the directional or triangle, circle, X, square buttons. And then it says, now a new action is learned, it will automatically be added to your hotbar. So, and like I said, eventually we'll have so much room that we'll need to have that area, but we'll go over that later. Most actions require magic points, MP, to execute, in addition to having recast times or of various lengths. Though MP slowly regenerates over time, there exist items and actions which can be used to immediately restore them, which you can with potions and ethers and things like that, which you can eventually make later down the road. Disciples of Magic and Disciples of War, who specialize in ranged attacks, such as archers, are best suited fighting their targets from a distance. The range and radius of an action can also be confirmed in the help window. So we have achievements. Congratulations, you have just received your first achievement. Achievements are earned by reaching certain milestones during your adventures in Eorzea, and there are achievements for just about everything from leveling classes and uncovering locations to defeating enemies and earning gil. There are also rewards granted upon attending certain achievements. Some of these include rare weapons and armor. Other include titles, which can be added to your display name to showcase your greatness. So, since we currently only have 2 skills, and okay, so when we're going to fight, you can see they have these icons over their head. These are going to be the quests, not your main scenario quests, but side quests. So let's hit it. Fast plate. So right now we have fast play. That's the only attack move we have currently. We do have what's called fight or flight. And here, let me go into the menu. I'll just show you something really quick. So in actions, you can see which we have available so far. So again, that's if you go into the menu, you go up under character into actions and traits. You click actions, and then it'll show you the current one we have. So it basically delivers an attack with a potency of 150, and then fight or flight increases your damage dealt by 25%. So for instance, if we just hit one of these guys, looks like we're hitting him for 16, for about 16. So once we do that, if we go to this next one and we use fight or flight, it should increase our attack. Yeah, see, so almost double. Well, not double, but it's enough. Okay, so the marmots are done. Now we do have huge hornets that we can still hit, which is on our map. As you can see, it actually shows a indicator, that orange circle of the areas you should be in. So let's go click experience points. In the event multiple solo players attack the same target, the player who attacks first will always receive 100% of the experience points and items dropped. The players who follow will be rewarded based on their contribution to the battle. If you see a fellow player in need of your hand, do not hesitate to lend yours. Let's see, binding items. An item you have equipped is now bound to you and can no longer be traded or put for sale in the markets. So if, for instance, if you buy something or craft something, as soon as you put it on your person and you attack or hit anything, it will automatically bind to you. All right, so most items can be sold and traded freely before they are used in battle, crafting, or gathering. This is true regardless of whether or not they have been equipped. However, performing one of these three actions after equipped and new piece of gear will bind the item to you, preventing future trade or sale to other players. So this goes back to what I was saying. So NPC shops will still purchase bound items. So if you want to sell it to an NPC, you'll still be able to do that. So, all right. So let's attack this guy. And we've already leveled it. No, we didn't level it. That was the binding of the character. Okay, so here we go. Okay, huge hornet. Okay, so let's see where, let's go back to the menu, and then let's go to our journal and see where the other snapping shrews are. So they're going to be a little bit further down this way. So, and you'll see the arrow that's pointing to it. So let's run over there to get the last of the things that we need. So the snapping shrew. So these are higher level too. These are level 3 like us. So we'll just use fight or flight and then fast blade. If we do it fast enough, we'll be able to hit more than one of them with the same ability going. So there we go. That works. Maybe we can kill the last one while still having it up. Okay, fantastic. Now, let's click again and see where we need to go. So it wants us to go back to the Gladiators Guild. So this is a good time to use return, just to show you what it does. So down here at the bottom left, you'll see return. You can either click return through here, or you can click return through the main menu. For now, I'm going to use it from here. You click it. It's going to return you to the main Aethernet within Uldah, if that's what you set as your home point. So now we're back here, and now what we can do, since we've already been to the Gladiators Guild and we've touched the Aethernet there, we can go here, click it, go to Aethernet, and then go to the Gladiators Guild. So the only one we're currently missing is the Alchemist Guild and the Chamber of Rule, which we can do those a little bit later. So, but for now, we're going to go to the Gladiators Guild to complete this quest. All right, so let's go down here. And talk with Milla. Okay. Okay, so she's talking about the hunting log, which is nice. It's a really fast way to level up. Okay, so we can't take on the next Gladiator quest until we are level 5. And we also have the hunting log. So we'll go into combos. So combos basically are going to be where you have consecutive attacks. So like fast blade, right blade, or right blade, fast blade. It just depends. I have to look at the skill itself. But it's probably going to talk about it here. So melee-oriented classes such as Gladiator and Marauder can chain together their weapon skills to deal additional damage or inflict additional enfeeblements to their targets. This is known as a combo. Combos are not available to pugilists as the melee class employs a unique weapon skill chaining system. So for pugilists, there's a lot of directionals and things like that. If a weapon skill can be chained with another, it will be indicated in the weapon skill's help text under combo action. In this case, a Vorpal Thrust to the left, if executed immediately after True Thrust, the potency will be increased. So yeah, if you look at the top, it says the combo action to Vorpal Thrust is True Thrust, and that combo potency is going to be 310. Some weapon skills must be delivered from a specified direction to maximize their damage. So for instance, that Chaos Thrust that it's showing in the top, if you execute it from the back, it'll have a higher potency. When a weapon skill can be chained into a combo, its hotbar icon will be outlined with a flashing yellow border. The border will fade if the weapon skill is not used within a certain amount of time. Learn which weapon skills chain together to maximize your battle efficiency. So if I don't think there's anything we can hit on here. Otherwise, I could try to show it, but we'll get to that in a little bit. All right, so using items. So some items can be used granting various effects such as instant HP, restoration, attribute boost, and more. Using an item is as simple as selecting use from the item's subcommands. All items with recast timers cannot be used again until the timer has expired. Items you use often can be set to your hotbar for easy access. So let's see if we have any items. I don't think we do. So we'll go under inventory. We do have some items. We have honey, and then we were given marmot steak. So I always recommend when you're low level to always have food active, because if you look at the bottom left hand corner, it grants you an XP bonus of plus 3%, and it lasts 30 minutes. If you take 2 of them, the duration can be extended to 60 minutes when consuming multiple servings. And then there are other things you can do, like joining a free company that has EXP bonuses, things like that, to help you level faster. Now the hunting log, this is a really good one. So the hunting log is a record of your completion of tasks involving the slaying of certain creatures. By completing these tasks, you will earn rewards and unlock new challenges. The log can be accessed via logs found in the main menu. Once the log is open, select a class and a difficulty to view the available challenges for that rank. Each challenge is marked with a class name and number, such as a Lancer 01 below that name, and a number you will find that target, as well as how many of the targets you must defeat. Hovering over the target name will display one of the areas in which the target can be located. Targets indicated in your hunting log will have a special icon above their display name, making it easier to locate the creatures. So yeah, so if we go under hunting log, which should be under logs, and then at the top it's under hunting log. So since we're currently a gladiator, we have it set for that, so we're at rank 1, and then you can see all of the different ones that we have to do so far. Now what's great is that once you start familiarizing yourself where things are, it actually will tell you where it is. So it'll say Western Thanlin, and then the 80 Sins of Sasimo. So you'll know the location, and then you'll have to look around the map to see where the 80 Sands of Sasimo is. And we'll eventually do one of these just so you can see. But so that's it for the challenge log. So let's go here. All right. So now a lot of times it's like, oh, I don't know what to do next. Well, we know that we have to go up to the main scenario quest and click it, and this will open that up for us and tell us where we should go next. And then let's see, that is going to be the Adventurers Guild. But before we go to the Adventurers Guild, let's see what we have with mail. At the top right hand corner next to the time, it says that I have mail. So let's see why I have mail. So it's telling me to visit a delivery Moogle. So let's see if we can find a delivery Moogle on the map. We're going to need to go to the main area for a delivery Moogle. So let's head back to the regular Aethernet and then talk to a delivery Moogle. So let's go to the... So you can see a Moogle on the screen. So let's go to the main Aethernet. And then let's head over to where we saw the mail at. So there's a mail icon That's a different Moogle thing, so we can go over that once we're able to do those particular quests. But for now, we're going to go over here. And they still have Valentine's Day stuff going on. That's why it's all decorated in Valentine's Day. They always do really festive stuff. So we're going to go to the delivery Moogle, and we're going to check our mail and see what we have. Okay. Sorry, I probably should have read all that. I just fast-forwarded through it all. Basically, he's just letting me know that if I ever need to check mail or if I ever need to send mail, I can do it through here. And anytime you get any messages from Square Enix, for instance, with special items that you may have purchased, this is where they go to. So if you get a mount or a special gear or any kind of extra items from the market, like from the Moogle, the Mog Shop, this is where you would pick it up from. All right, so let's see what we have here. So we have our mailbox is full. So let's start from the top. Let's see what this one is. So this is So these are going to be things that I've purchased in the past. That's why it's giving them to me. So some of these items may not be given to others, but for now, let's click them and take all of them. And then let's go to the next one. See what that is. Okay, so Menfinia's earring. This was given to, I believe this was given to people who were from the previous, before A Realm Reborn. I'm not 100% sure. Or I think it was just given to people to help with leveling. But these are really good to have. It's 30% bonus, which we're going to definitely wear that because that will help with leveling. Let's see. Let's go in here. So you have the Aethernet earring. So this one you can wear as well. So we have lots of items we can use. Let's see. Airship key. Lionheart gear. We may actually wear that. Let's see. Tantalus stuff. We're going to have a full inventory already just from the stuff in here. Oh my goodness. There's so many items. There's so much stuff in here. Holy cow. Like I said, a lot of these items, I don't know if they give them to newcomers. I've been playing this game a really long time. So every character you have, they'll allow you to have it. You know, I have like Wind Up Odin. There's just so many things that I have that came with purchases that may have been made. Behemoth. Let's see. Fantasia, which I mentioned before, this allows you to change your character to anything you would like. Like if you don't like the character you have, this will allow you to change the entire look of everything, your race, your gender, everything. Jeez, we don't have mounts and everything before we even have... Oh my goodness. This is way too much stuff. Another Fantasia? Now we have two. And there's my Legacy Chocobo Whistle. Alright, so let's go ahead and check our inventory really quick and see what we have here. So we have a barding. So to use a barding, you just click use. We don't have a chocobo yet, so we can't use it. We have another barding of light. These are all going to be for our chocobo that we'll get later. It's the free company chocobo. So this is a minion. Minions you can collect from different places. You can purchase them. They'll basically follow you around. But that's what these are. So I'm going to click these all. Since I have a lot of them now. Let's get this out of the way. Okay, so now that we have that done, we have these are mounts. So this is going to be the Legacy Chocobo that we'll have available. This is going to be the Behemoth Warhorn, so it allows me to use the Behemoth. And then this is going to be the Falcon mount, and then the Arion. So what we'll do is, even though we're not going to have, you normally won't have mounts yet, I'm going to just show you where they are. It's under Character Mount Guide, and it'll show you the mounts that we have available. So some of these are special mounts you get from specific things. So all right. So minions. You have obtained a whistle with which you can summon your very own minion. To learn the call minion action, you must first use the whistle, which we did. Once you have used the item, a new entry will appear in the minion guide. Under character in the main menu, you can either initiate the action from this menu or set it to your cross hotbar and initiate it from there. To send your minion away, simply reselect the summoning icon minion. Minions can be summoned or dismissed at any time, and the whistle has no recast timer. Once you have learned the summoning action, you will never lose it, and it can be used with all classes or jobs. You can only summon one minion at a time. While minions do not generate any enmity, neither will they participate in battle. If you are KO'd, your minion will simply wander off back to wherever it rests until you call upon it again. So if we go under the characters menu and go under minion guide, this is where you can select a minion. So for me, let's just have Odin follow us around. So now you have a little guy to follow you around. Untradable items. You have obtained an untradable item. This item is yours and yours alone and cannot be sold or traded. So some of the items that I got from Square Enix, you would not be able to trade those or sell those to anybody for anything. That's basically what that means. Unique items. You have obtained a unique item. As this item is special, you can never possess more than one of that item. Now there are some tricks to this, and we can show that later, where you can technically hold more than one. It just depends on where you hold it. So, and then the Moogle delivery service. So this goes over the mail. So the Moogle delivery service can be accessed by speaking with one of the many delivery Moogles stationed throughout Eorzea or by clicking on a Moogle letterbox. The service can be used to send messages, items, and gil to anyone in your friends list. So like here we have the actual floating delivery Moogle, and then if you have a free company or your own house, you can have a Moogle mailbox there. So now we can go back to the Adventurers Guild and talk to Momodi. All right, so it says speak with Papashan at the Uldah dispatch yard. So let's find out where that is. So we'll go to the quests map, and then that's going to be outside. So we know we have to go outside to get it. So let's do that. Let's jump. I also wanted to go over one thing out also really quick before I forget. So in the bottom left-hand corner, you have the chat menu. In the chat menu, you have the ability to do multiple different things. You can set up custom ways that you can view the chats, the way you can talk to people. So for instance, if I wanted to talk to somebody that I've talked to before, you would do Alt-R. Now, normally Alt-R would, excuse me, is it Control-R? No, it's not Control-R. It's being funky on me. Yeah, so it is Alt. So Alt-F takes you to free company. Alt-L okay. So a lot of them are going to work because I've never used them on this character before, so that's okay. Once we get more things going, if it menu pops up for that, we'll take a look at it. So it's not allowing us to do that. I'm curious if it would allow me to use a mount, even though I'm not supposed to have a mount yet. No, it won't let me use a mount yet, so that's good. Okay, great. Now, while we're running around really quick, as you can see, we have the marmots that they were talking about with the icon above it. So this is for the hunter's log. So here, let's attack one. And then you can see the riot blade. See how it lit up with the spinning icon? That's how you can combine your weapon skills. So, and then you could do fight or flight, fast blade, and then riot blade. So combining weapon skills. And also in the bottom left-hand corner, you can see that it says record of star marmot kill 2-3 added to hunting log. So that basically means I've already killed 2 of the 3, and now I only need to kill 1 more, and then that will be added to my hunting log. So there we go. Riot blade again. And then now we have completed the log for that particular one. So Gladiator log 2. So if we go to our hunting log, and you can see on number 2, we now have finished the star marmot, and the reward was 180 EXP. So we're heading over to Papashan. Oh, and the snapping shrew. Let's go ahead and take care of those for now. So let's take care of these. Might as well get him out of the way since we're over here. Get rid of him. Run over here. Kill him. We're also getting items. I keep all my items because I can use them for crafting later. I don't sell them, I get rid of them. Because you can make a lot more by selling the items with things that you make. Okay. So we finished that and we leveled up, which is nice. And we have a new job quest available at level 5, if you remember from what she was saying. But let's go ahead and talk to Papashan. Okay, so as far as gear goes, I'm not going to worry about gear right now. I'm just going to use the Allig and Bron pieces because I can trade them in for Gil. It is good to have gear, but I'm actually going to try to level up quickly enough to where I can just make my own gear. So for now, I'm just going to click the bronze piece. Okay, so I had some gear that it gave to me. So let's, so you can sort the menu, by the way, too. You can go to sort. Then it will sort your inventory. I don't think there's an auto sort option. I've never seen it. So let's see. Let's go to character, and then we're going to go under gear. So let's see. Do I have any headgear available? I do. Okay. So I have this wild rose bandana, a baron circlet, fat chocobo head, and the goblin cape. Don't think I want to wear any of those. Let's go to body. Landheart, which I believe is from Final Fantasy VIII. Let's try this one. I like this. This is basically like Cloud. So I'm going to wear Cloud's gear for now. It looks cool. Yeah, let's do that. Now we look cool. Now we look like Cloud. Too bad we don't have the sword. We do have a Death Scythe, but that's for Reaper only. So Reaper is really awesome, by the way. We'll get into that later as well, because that'll be the first job I start off with as a DPS, if it allows me to, because I think you have to be 60 for that. I'm not sure. It's been a while. Let's see what this looks like. Yeah, I guess we can wear that. That's fine. Whatever. Oh, and yes, we want to equip one of these. Let's see which they are. 30. I think these are all the same. But these ones have actual stats. So let's go ahead and use Menphinias. So you may not have any of these in the very beginning. Or you might. It just depends on what version of the game you purchase. But for now, I'm going to attach the Menphinias earring. And then click. Set it. So. And I don't know if you saw that, but you have the ability, once you change an item, it'll ask you if you want to set it so that it'll always be this. So like, let's say if I accidentally unequip a bunch of stuff here, let's go like this. I'm pressing square to unequip. So let's say, oh man, I unequipped all this stuff. You can go to your gear set like I showed you at the beginning, and you can just click it and it'll re-equip all your gear. So, all right, well, I'm going to end this video because this is quite a long one. I'm going to end it here. If you like what you've seen, please make sure to smash the like button and subscribe to my channel. I'm definitely going to be obviously making a part 2. If you have any comments and some other things you'd like to see within the game, let me know, and I would love to put them in. Bye.